Hello, my name is Cynthia. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Good. I'm not doing that well. I was driving today and almost got in an accident due to a teenage driver. Teenage driving is a sensitive subject for families and parents and drivers on the road. Now, I don't think teenagers should have a driver's license until 18 years old, and I'm going to persuade you why with these three reasons: risk factors, peers, and how social media has an effect on teenage drivers. Now, for risk factors, there's poor hazard detection and risk perception. Risk perception is when teenagers have a hard time foreseeing risks on the road due to their lack of maturity in their mental mind or maturity due to their age. Poor hazard detection is when they cannot detect hazard on the road. They don't foresee it and they have a difficulty time knowing how to avoid hazardous situations. Another big one is seatbelts not being used. Seatbelts are used by lots of people today, but it has been proven that teenagers do not wear their seatbelts the most. These are some of the risk factors why teenage drivers should not be on the road. Now, what about their peers? Peers have the biggest influence on teenagers. 1 in 5 teenagers have accidents on the road. They increase their speed and they have risk of alcohol and drugs as well. Have a big influence on teenagers on the road. 40% increased risk of getting in an accident. And Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 59% have fatal teenage crashes occur. Peers have a big influence on teenage drivers. Sometimes they tell teenagers to drive faster, and once one peer's in the car, every peer that's added into the car is increased the risk of them getting into an automobile accident. Now, they also have several distractions, and that is due to social media. Texting and driving is one of the social media outlets that causes teenage drivers to have accidents and speeding tickets, just not paying attention to the road. There's 3 different kinds of distractions. Visual distraction. When you have to send a text message on the phone, you take your eyes off the road. That's the first mistake teenagers make. Second mistake they make, they lose their manual reflexes and they're manually distracted. They're holding on to the cell phone and they're losing their manual capabilities on the road. Another thing is mental distraction. They're mentally focused on their text message. They're not focused on the road. That is one of the biggest reasons why they get into accidents, because they are not paying attention to the different things that are going on in front of them. Texting and driving has a huge impact on peers and teenagers today. Now, I have a chart here that I assembled for you guys, and it's just showing crashes per 1,000 drivers. Now, it's showing from 65 to 74-year-olds all the way to 16 to 24-year-olds. This is the range that I'm focusing more on, is the 16 to the 19-year-olds. It proves here that this high amount of level, 160 accidents occur out of the 1,000 drivers. As age progresses, the bars here get slightly smaller. But you can see significantly that age definitely has an influence on crashes and drivers. Alcohol impaired driving deaths are 10,228, and other driving deaths are 22,657. Now, the alcohol impaired, we're focusing on teens that are drinking and driving here. And this is the pyramid of why it's important not to have teenagers on the road. Now, I just want to shout out that 16-year-olds have the increased crash rates than any other age And I personally have an experience with my niece at 16 years old. I was opposed to her getting a driver's license, and she did get one. A couple months later, she was on the road, like we spoke about, risk perception and poor hazard detection. She took her eyes off the road. She did not foresee an accident, and she ended up getting into one. Head-on collision. She was safe, but now she doesn't have a license until she's 21 years old. And she put her life, her peer's life in the car, and the other driver in the car's life at risk. That is one of the biggest reasons that influenced me on feeling that teenage drivers definitely should not be on the road. Now, in 2010, 16 through 19-year-olds died from accidents, 3 times more likely than drivers aged 20 and up to be in a car accident. And in 2010, 2,700 teens were killed. Now, when this amount of teens are being killed due to teenage driving, I think that speaks to why they should not be on the road. Now, hopefully I have persuaded you to agree with my point, and I would like to refer back to these references where you can gain more information: cdc.gov, dmv.gov, pediatrics.org, and rmiaa.org/autoteens/teen driving. These are good references to help you understand my point of view. Now, hopefully there will not be any more teenage drivers on the road. Thank you for your time.